We would now like to invite Honorable Justice G.R.Swaminathan, Sir, Justice, High Court Madras, Madurai Bench, to share a few words of wisdom with the new members of the Symbiosis family.
Good morning to one and all. The newsletter has been unveiled, and I find a disclaimer column. This broadsheet is an in-house publication by the students of Symbiosis Law School, Hyderabad. The views expressed in this paper are the opinions of students and does not reflect those of the institution. Why are you so defensive? I would prefer to say the opinions of the students and the universe supports them to voice those opinions. And in Tamil Nadu there was a famous writer by name Periyar Murugan. He got into serious trouble for writing a book, One Part Woman. And he was excommunicated, a lot of difficulties he faced. And I stood by him as a lawyer, as a friend, and as a judge, I have given an opinion on the right of the cartoonists to caricature anybody in any way they want, and they will not face any criminal prosecution. Therefore, when I said this, I was not really playing to the gallery, but I am really voicing the deepest conviction of my heart. Having said that, the moment I stepped into this campus, like Deblina, I also felt like, I was feeling quite envious and jealous of each and every one of you. I wanted to make a demand on you like Yayati. Heard of Yayati? Yayati story? No? Say yes or no? Yes, okay. Though some of you may not have known, so for those who do not know, I will narrate the story. We have two camps, Devas, Asuras. This Sarmishta was the Asura princess. Their Rajaguru had a daughter by name Devyani. They are good friends. One day they go to the forest for taking a swim in the pond. There is a gust of wind and their dresses get mixed up. Devyani by mistake put on Sarmishta's robes. And the princess got wild. How dare you put on my robes? And she pushed her into the well and just walked off. It so happened that another king by name Yayati came to the forest for hunting. Of course, in those days, you did not have the wildlife protection laws. And even if those wildlife protection laws were there, just like the Bollywood actors are exempt from them, the kings are also free to hunt. And eventually, Yayati rescued Devyani from the well. And after she was rescued, she said, "See, you have held me by your right hand, and therefore you are bound to marry me." And she said, since she had been insulted by the princess, she decided that she will not go back to the kingdom. She will stay in the forest only. The matter reached the ears of her father Sukracharya, to whom the daughter was everything. He said, "I am quitting this kingdom." The king was rattled. He could not afford to lose Sukracharya. Probably Sukracharya was what Amit Shah used to Narendra Modi. So the king came rushing to the forest and literally begged Devyani, "Ma'am, please. Devyani said, "Nothing doing. If you want my father to stay with you, I put one condition. Your daughter must become my servant maid." King had no option. He said yes. And she got married to Yayati, goes with him to this Yayati's kingdom, taking Sarmishta along as a servant maid. Years passed, and one day Yayati happened to meet Sarmishta, and he fell for her. They got married. They begat children. But truth can't be hidden for long. And Devyani came to know of it. Again, she rushes to her father and complains. These days when husband and wife fight, what the wife does, she'll go to the father straight away. And Sukracharya, cursed Yayati, you ditched me a daughter like this. You become old. You become impotent. You will lose your youth. He just cursed. And Yayati got transformed into an old man. And he felt miserable. He comes to Sukracharya and seeks forgiveness. Sir, you are a great strategist. Give me a way out. And Sukracharya says, all right, there's only one way out. If one of your sons can take on this curse, you will regain your youth. The last son, Puru, he took on the Appa's curse, and Yayati became young again. He was having good fun, while Puru was rotting in old age. Yes, a time came when Yayati felt enough is enough. He made Puru the king of the kingdom, and he said goodbye to everything. Why I say this Yayati tale? I want to know if one of you will become a judge of the High Court, so that I can become a symbiosis law student once again. I really mean it. In fact, that's what Devalina was telling me in the morning also. She was telling me, only from her I got the inspiration to narrate this story. Anuradha and I were classmates, and we did not have facility like this, an ambience like this. So I really truly feel jealous and envious. But suppose I go back. Now, just imagine, I'm an 18-year-old law student here. What will be my state of mind? How would I look at the future? Friends, my goals would be the same. But I would definitely make my journey far more meaningful. I would really, see, I just saw that film. Sir, it was so inspiring. Majumdar, how he made a difference to the... I would really, begin my pursuit towards excellence. Now, all of you will be having... In which year you have the Constitution class? Which year? Second year, huh? Now, there is a part, all of us talk only of fundamental rights. There is a chapter on fundamental duties also, Article 51A. And that Article 51A, there is one J subclause also, which says every individual, every citizen of India, it uses the word shall. He shall strive towards excellence. Why? What for? So that the nation constantly rises higher towards greater endeavor and achievement. That's a duty cast on each and every one of us. Now let us straightway come to the brass tacks. How do we achieve it? I am posing a question to you, and I'll give an answer also. I suggest a three-pronged approach. There is no option but to read and read. That's all, nothing else. And what do you read? What do you start with? I suggest you start with reading the biographies of the great lawyers and judges. That is where you must start. I can drop a few names straight away. The first name I would give is Roses in December by Muhammad Karim Chagla. That is what we all started with, and I'm sure that's what Dr. Sarfaraz also, Abhishek, all of us. Roses in December by Muhammad Karim Chagla, MC Chagla. It was one of the greatest CJs we ever had. Then Motilal Settlewith's My Life, Law and Other Things. Courtroom Genius, Mani Palkhiwala. And of course, you should not miss out the two biographies on Ramjit Malani, The Rebel. Then Shanti Bhushan's Courting Destiny. We can just go on and on. And the literature on this is quite limited in India, but in US, you have got a number of books. Even recently, the famous US attorney, Preet Bharara, has come out with a book, Doing Justice. And I would request our director to build an exclusive section on biographies alone. You must have at least, I have promised to make a return visit after 6 months, and I must see at least 100 books in that section, at least 100. And I would expect each and every one to read it also. That's more important. Director will do it, but you must also read it. Once you read the biographies, your heart will be fired by ambition. You will see the benchmark that you will have to reach, the standards that you will have to meet. But then, you start with biographies, should not stop with that. Because all said and done, though it is high stuff, it is only light stuff. It's more entertaining. Therefore, then you must move on to what I would call as the conceptual writing. Nowadays, there are a number of excellent writers. I can give three or four names. Gautam Bhatia, he has written a book on transformative constitution, which you can't just put it down. It's so unputdownable. Vikram Raghavan, Arun Thiruvengadam on constitution. Of course, the legendary Upendra Bakshi, whom we would have read, Upendra Bakshi, S.P. Sathe, P.K. Tripathi. We just go to those writings, the conceptual. That would be stage 2. Stage 3 will be to get in touch with the hard texts, the classics, Sirvai on constitutional law, Anson on contract. We can just go on. Granville, Austin on Kenny on criminal law. All those things, the classics and the hard texts. See, by the end of these 5 years, you must have read all these, the biographies, the conceptual writings, and then the hard texts and classics. If you have read all these within these 5 years, I can assure you, when you step out into the adult world, you would have all the qualities that are required for taking on any challenge. I can assure you that. But as I was intently listening to what the director was saying, in fact, I have nothing more to add. I have to only second what he said. These 5 years, it all depends on how you use it. I would expect you to attend the classes sincerely, and Anuradha, Dr. Anuradha will definitely confirm how I was when I was a student. I would never bunk any class. I would never play truant. Attend all the classes and be respectful to the faculty, the teachers. And take a very intense part in the moot courts. Sir, if you, in the book Rebel, Ramjit Malani, is the greatest lawyer who is living. And his fees used to range around 45 lakhs per day even. That kind of a fees he could command per day, per appearance. Once, one college asked him to attend a moot court, he was to argue a moot himself. And believe me, Ramjit Malani came in his senior's gown with all the paraphernalia, juniors, briefs, file, everything. See, a Jatmalani will take the moot very, very seriously. Then how a student should take it? Intern under leading lawyers and judges. See, your only motto should be to acquire legal knowledge and nothing else. And only a disciplined and undistracted approach, that alone, as director said, can shape you. Only then you will be ready. Why? And I would expect at least one or two of you, he said, you can become this, that. Why not one of you become the CJ of India? Why not? Friends, I am a first generation lawyer. I have no legal background. I studied in Tamil medium, my vernacular. But even then I decided, one day I will be a High Court judge. Of course, at that time, my dream did not permit me to become a CJ of India. But then you can. You are far better placed. You can become High Court judge and practice in the Supreme Court after retirement. You can dream of becoming a great, powerful lawyer like Kapil Sibal, Gopal Subramaniam. Sir, has he come here? Gopal Subramaniam? Yes, sir. He's an excellent orator. You can dream anything. You can become an excellent law writer like Vikram Raghavan, Upendra Bakshi, an academic. And in fact, I wanted to be an academic first. Being a lawyer was only in secondary. So many things are possible. But in whichever slot you occupy, you must be an excellent material. That is most important. And I wish at least one or two of you became a law critic like Suhrid Parsardi, who writes regularly in Hindu. Do you know why I am saying this? Courts are no doubt temples of justice. I repeat, courts are no doubt temples of justice. But judges are not gods. But judges think they are gods. Therefore, it's high time mirror is shown to them. And only a law critic can do that. And I therefore really wish one or two of you will become a law critic also. And that's a very difficult job, very challenging one also. See, we are now facing a serious crisis of a situation. Pendency, so many things. You will have to come out with some creative, innovative, practical solutions. When I say creative, you don't have to really, you don't have to think, you don't have to have second thoughts. You don't think it belongs some different league altogether. You must have heard of a name, Arthur Kessler, a great novelist and a Nobel laureate. He has written a book, The Act of Creation. The thesis in that book is, sage means saint, scientist, artist. The creative basis is one and the same. That is what he says. He would take the example of a joke and say how it makes you laugh. And he gives an example also. Of course, a joke should be narrated so that you laugh. But now I'm going to analyze a joke. Therefore, you may not end up laughing also. Doesn't matter. I'm just going to illustrate what Arthur Kessler says. There was a French general. He returned home unexpectedly early. He rushes upstairs to the bedroom, and there he sees his young, charming wife in the warm embrace of the bishop. The general quietly turns and walks towards the balcony and starts blessing all the passers-by. The bishop got shocked. The wife gets shocked. They rush to him. Sir, what happened? What happened? No. Reverend Bishop, you are doing my job. I am doing your job, he said. Kessler, quoting this, he says, why this anecdote produces a tickling effect in you? You must watch very carefully here. You would expect the general to draw out his sword or his pistol and kill the bishop. He doesn't do that. Instead, he does what the bishop is doing. Therefore, Kessler says there are two frames of reference. The bishop frame of reference, the general frame of reference. You transpose one on the other, and that leads to creative results. That is how he analyzes the joke. And I would request each and every one of you, of course a very bulky book, a very little difficult to plot through also, but still it is worth reading, The Act of Creation. Why I am saying this is, we need to find creative, innovative solutions to the enormous problems that we are facing. And how can you go about doing it? Only if you can manage your time so well. See, Yayati story, once time goes, it doesn't come back. And what is the moral, what is the lesson in Yayati story? Of course, the mischievous guys among you may say, do not keep more than one girlfriend at a time. That could be one lesson. Another lesson could be, don't help a girl in trouble. If you help her, she may latch on to you. So many lessons you can draw. But that is not, that is jokes apart. The real lesson is, desire is never quenched by indulgence. It is like pouring oil on fire. It just burns more and more. Self-restraint, that is the moral of the Yayati story. Learn to use your time properly. Time goes, doesn't come back. These are the true lessons. In fact, in our Upanishads, in Kathopanishad, they say, we have a distinction. Good, pleasant. The wise man goes after the good and achieves success. The not so wise go after the pleasant and they end in trouble. Therefore, all of us want to achieve great success in our lives. To do that, we have to go after the good, which means sustained, disciplined, distractionless study. That alone will take us to our ultimate destination. Friends, last week in Tamil Hindu, I saw an article by Udayachandran IAS. One day you must call him also, sir. One of our finest administrators, and that is why our rulers have given him punishment posting in a useless department now. That is another thing. He says, in 1965, in Guindy Engineering College, IBM installed a giant computer. In those days, I am told the computer used to be a room full. And to see that computer, an 86-year-old political leader comes. He cannot even climb the stairs. He had to be bodily lifted in the wheelchair. For For 1 hour, he was asking, what is this, what is that, how this computer functions. All those questions he is asking. He is whom we reverentially refer as Periyar E.V. Ramaswamy, one of the legendary political leaders of Tamil Nadu. Udayachandran says, see, at the age of 86, when he's 1 foot in the grave, man is so curious about technology. Therefore, I want you to embrace technology. No, you must retain that childlike curiosity. You must always be up to date, like our great E.V.R. Periyar. So when I read that article, I was truly inspired. And I want to narrate one personal anecdote also. You must have heard of Chief Justice M.N. Venkatachalaya. He is Karnataka based. He must be, I think, 90 now. I met him some 2 years ago when he retired as a CJA some 25 years ago. 25 years ago. He does not do any arbitration. He has stopped here. No. Like other judges, the next day of retirement, they take to arbitration and earn lakhs of rupees. Of course, I am not jealous of them, like as I was jealous of you. But Venkatachalaya does not do that. And I went to take his blessings. And my last junior, he accompanied me. And on some arbitration case, an Australian decision, I forgot the name, A versus B. My junior said A versus B, he quoted. And that decision had been reported just 1 week back. Believe me, friends, Venkatachalaya corrected him. Sorry, young man, it is B versus A. I was stunned. 89 years old, retired 25 years ago, is not engaged in law practice, but he is still keeping himself up to date with the latest development. Not India, Australia. That was one incident which I can never forget. Friends, before I conclude, for me, law is everything. It's a passion for me. I have a son, Chandrasekhar. He is your age only. Can I put him in the symbiosis law school? No, I can't. Why? He's a special child. He can't even speak. He can't read or write. He can't differentiate between gender. And last year when I took him to a movie, when national anthem was played, he did not even get up. He does not know what is India, what is citizenship. He lives outside time. When Anuradha asked me, what about your children? I didn't answer her immediately. This is the answer I'm giving you now. Why you have lapsed into this sentiment? On a purpose. We take several things for granted. See, being able to read, being able to write, being able to understand, being able to get admission into a great institution like Symbiosis, we should not waste these things. We must harness all our abilities and faculties and put it to the best possible use by effectively using our time also and achieve success. And that alone is the only way we can repay our debt, our gratitude to our parents and to this alma mater. I wish you all the very, very best in life. I am certain each and every one of you will achieve great success in life. I wish you, and I am particularly grateful to Anuradha, my classmate and friend, and the director for giving me this wonderful opportunity to be in your midst. Thank you so much.